The following is a clip from the World Class Bullshitters live show, broadcasting live here on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday night. You're invited, but we don't accept Republic credits. So, this comes from our pal WDW Pro, but a Disney whistleblower claims that the company has required employees to keep diversity, inclusion, and equity, or DEI, how it's actually read, virtues, diaries that determine whether the employees would receive promotions, raises, or even keep their jobs. The whistleblower also claimed that the company systematically persecuted conservative employees. It says, it is now our understanding that at Disney, since the summer of 2020, many employees of the company have been required to maintain their various virtuous actions within diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that a diary of their good deeds was part of maintaining their job security. But it's not just that, but in fact, it was also tied to their job compensation, if you can believe it. It was added that we're talking about bonuses that you might not receive, that went afoul. There's also other talk about this. Now, folks, if you want to hear more of it, make sure you check out the WDW Pro video. But it goes beyond just not filling out the Word doc that you had on the DEI requirements. Let's say you were actually on social media and you responded to some sort of conservative value where you're going to be brought into HR and explain that this doing at the Walt Disney Company, it's not allowed here. And that's how they eliminated a majority of their employees that have those views. And so now, according to this report, the Disney company has been more or less a monolithic state where everyone is on one side of the spectrum and everyone else is either hiding or just quiet. So what do you guys think about this? There's a little more to that, but I want to get your take about that. If this is true, according to this whistleblower, how messed up is it that they basically hinge your whole job on this DEI crap?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear more about it. Especially having a job in corporate America, right? A lot of companies do have sensitivity stuff and all that. So that stuff definitely does exist, and a lot of times your performance, depending on if because a lot of companies have social media contracts, right? So that part exists. But what they're saying, it sounds like it is a very different environment at Disney, which again, I wouldn't be surprised with everything going on and how hard they've been pushing things. So yeah, if if that's the case where they're trying to police every single thing, especially in terms of if you work in the social media public relations department of Disney, that's wild. That's very, very wild. So yeah, man, I would, specifics here are very important, but again, you can't be all that surprised. Everything that's been going on, behind the scenes, the movies that they're pushing out, the movies that aren't doing well, that would be wild.
Don't you think, though, tying people's incomes and bonuses to this stuff makes their desires to be diverse hollow, and it makes it just based on a capitalistic desire, which, you work for a living. There's a reason behind that. But don't you think it just makes this whole initiative hollow, like to force it on people?
It depends what the metrics are. That's why it's dangerous to I guess, digest what this whistleblower is saying, right? So typically, when you have incentives, right? So, depending on what the company is, your bonus situation, it's called an incentive thing, bonus, whatever. They go on metrics. So, because, companies by and large don't want to have to give more money. So anytime your bonus, your incentive is based on something, you have to be able to quantify it, because obviously you can get sued for that type of thing. So if that is the case, I would be dying to know how they measure that. If you have a certain threshold that you have to adhere to when it comes to our diversity push, how are they measuring that? Especially if you're in public relations or social media or marketing or whatever, because especially when you have your one-on-ones for a business, and that shit is the type of shit that goes into your incentive package, you have to be able to bring proof. So what do they grade it on? Do they go off of replies? Do they go off of media mentions? Do they go off of what magazines say? So that's why it's important, especially with people in the sphere that we're in. you hear something and the knee-jerk reaction is that's crazy, but it's a corporations do not fuck around with this shit. So I would kill actually to know how do they measure that, and if they have a way to measure that, then yeah, that's a huge thing. That's a huge concern, because that means that by definition, if it's something that you can pay people more for, that's kind of crazy. Like that's if pushing Disney's diversity is what your pay is based off of, that's pretty wild, because at least in the public eye, it doesn't look like Disney knows what the fuck they're doing. So I would love to know, how do they quantify that?
They follow China's way of doing things. They just put cameras around every corner and every hallway and every room, and they track your eye movements. That's why they know where you are with like an RFID tag, thing attached that's molded into your skin. And if you're sitting down too long, or if you're not active too, if you're active too much, or if you're too white or not white enough, or not female enough, they track all those metrics across an AI program that they have developed, and then they spit out a number, and if that number is high or low, depends on how much you get paid that day during that week and during that pay period. So that's kind of how it's equated. If you've ever been to China or North Korea, you kind of know what I'm talking about.
I just got back last week. You're 100% on point.
I assume that's what it's like. I mean, that sounds like the most stressful work environment fucking ever. Like, if you stare at somebody like a half second too long, is that sexual harassment all of a sudden? Do you get written up, or do they get to talk to you about somebody? Like, what the fuck happens if you wear the wrong thing, or if you don't look professional enough, or if you're a woman and your low cut shirt is too low, or your skirt's too high? Like, how the fuck do you equate all of this to everything? Or if you address people in a certain way during a fucking meeting, does that count against your score? Like, how petty are we being here about this bullshit? And I'm sure anybody who worked there at some point is like, the money's not worth it, I'm fucking leaving. Like, I'm gonna go work at fucking In-N-Out, because it's gonna be less stressful than this. That just sounds terrible. And if this is true, and this is what's really happened, this is kind of another Lizzo situation where they keep forcing this diversity on people, and it's just making their job more and more stressful, and they have to worry about. I don't know if you saw that video of the people who were trying to do the meeting or whatever, and they were being really liberal, and they were like, oh, don't say guys, because it's you're saying this to men. Don't be too loud, because people who have auditory problems are gonna have, or can associate well, or whatever. It was a whole the meeting. In the first 45 minutes of the meeting, it was just them trying to clear rules up for every little fucking infraction. It was infuriating. If that's the way it is,
hearing you talk about it.
Yeah, if that's the way it is there, they can have their pay. They can do whatever. I don't want to fucking work there. No, thank you. And if this goes from everybody from the higher ups to the guy sweeping up the popcorn in the park, fuck it. No, thank you. I'm out. Done. I'll go to Universal and enjoy myself over there. It's fine.
I think a lot of people have already done that, Nick, because across the board, Disney has lower numbers. They just had another flop last week with the Haunted Mansion. That was a fairly pricey movie, and it only made $23 million.
Oh well, I have the box. I actually pulled up the box office right now. Domestic box office as of right now is $31 million.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. What was the budget?
Let's see. Let me look that up actually right now as well.
Gotcha.
Well, he's looking that one up.
That movie, $31 million, it's not great.
Budget according to Google is $150.
Ew.
Yeah, and just so you know, the international box office on top of the international box office on top of the domestic only equates to $40 million. So that was $8 million for the international box office over the past since it's been released.
Yeah, they got a lot of brothers in that movie, a lot of sisters in that movie.
So did the first one too with Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Disney we're talking about that, so they're trying to sell, 1A is China. So it's that movie, if it only did 31 domestically, and it only did 8 million internationally, that means that they couldn't put it in certain markets, and the markets they put it in didn't do that well.
Dear God, I'm looking at the cast list right now, and I'm like, it's a diversity person's wet dream. I swear to God. I'm just looking
mean,
at the cast
man.
right now. Like I'm just fuck okay. And even then, like the higher up names are like they're like very well known people. So
yeah.
it's
It's not cheap. You know, even though they made sure to check all the boxes, it wasn't cheap to pay all those people. So yeah, man. I mean, yeah, that's just seeing that and then hearing what this whistleblower is saying, that just sounds like a crazy environment, which is very ironic because again, it's Disney, so they're doing it to make money. I can't imagine having to walk on eggshells and still be expected to put out billion-dollar projects. That's tough.
yeah,
That's
and
fucking tough.
yeah, and it seems like their main priority is once again like before like when they come up with the script or whatever like that. It seems like they're already the first thing they do is like check all the boxes first. Can we make this person this? Can we make this person that? And then they go on to like try to make it into a billion-dollar movie, which you can't because I mean look at the fuck was it the Eternals or whatever. Like they tried doing that with that and it bombed hard.
Yo, motherfuckers still trying to defend that movie. Twitter
How
is
so?
still trying to defend that movie.
They need to give it up.
So weird. It's
Listen,
so
if they love the movie so much, go rent it at Redbox like a million times. Okay, do that. Put your fucking money into it then. If it
They
means
don't
so
love it
much
that
to you.
much, Nick.
Go buy the goddamn Lego sets that are like on discount now that nobody's got, nobody cares about.
Did you see in our toy video, dude, how the Black Panther toys have done so poorly? They're at Ollie's on clearance. They're at Target on clearance.
Jesus Christ,
Like,
dude.
Yep.
The bust on the Lego website is going on discount. Like it's nobody wants it, man.
who would?
Yeah, it's even I showed you the fucking which is really weird. For the Marvels, they had a Lego thing come out for them. It's called the Hoopty. That's
What?
The Hoopty is the space vehicle that they have in the Marvels.
Wow.
Really? That's what it's
I'm not
called?
kidding. That's what it's called. I will pull it up again and give you the link right now. I'm not kidding.
Send me the link. I'll share it on air.
They redid the trailer for that in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. That second trailer is way better than the first one.
Is it hard to be better than the absolute lowest thumbs down or most thumbs down trailer in history?
Absolutely not. But damn it, it's interesting, to kind of piggyback off of Nick's point. Those punchbacks, they clearly recognize them because that second trailer, the tone is they pull back on a lot of the we're all gals theme of the first trailer, and it's very interesting. It is very fucking interesting, and especially with it's the most disliked haunted mansion not doing well. This news coming out, and then obviously Bob Iger getting in front of the camera, dude. What they're gonna do, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't gonna be intrigued to watch, man, because Disney's in a weird ass corner. They're in a weird ass corner, and especially with this whistleblower coming out, pushing them in a certain direction. A lot of those motherfuckers are striking because of Disney.